Okay students, today we are going to continue the chapter genetics of ICSE class 10 biology. This is the part 2 of this chapter. If you haven't watched part 1, then you can click the I button above and you can watch. Okay, so let's start. So in this part we will study about the concept of allele. In the previous part we have studied the term genetics and what are genes. Okay, we studied that for a specific character a specific gene is responsible. Okay, now that particular gene has two alternative forms. That alternative forms are called allele. Okay, now if we will see in our body, in human body, each cell consists of 23 pair of chromosomes. Like this is one pair of chromosomes, this is second pair, this is third pair. In the same way there are 23 pair of chromosomes. If we will see in each pair, this is one chromosome and this is another chromosome. In the same way each pair consists of two chromosomes. So there are 22 pair of chromosomes which we called homologous chromosomes. Okay, why we call it homologous chromosome? Because in each pair the chromosomes are of same shape and same size. But the last pair, the 23rd pair, it consists of a different chromosomes. Okay, in case of male it is X and Y, while in case of female it is X and X. Okay, now for each pair there are two chromosomes. So if we consider a gene responsible for a character, let us take a character like tongue rolling. Okay, tongue rolling, for tongue rolling some people can roll their tongue into a tube like, while some people cannot. Now the gene responsible for tongue rolling, suppose it is present over here, that gene also exists in pair. Okay, as we know that there are two chromosomes, so in the same way for a specific character the gene will also be in pair. Now that gene can be either dominant or recessive. Both can be dominant or recessive. Now for tongue rolling we represent the gene as R. If the gene is dominant we represent it as capital R. If it is recessive we represent it as small r. Now in case of here the gene can be capital R, small r. If it is capital R and small r, then that person will be able to roll his or her tongue. Why? Because the dominant allele is present. Okay, so the main thing is the dominant always suppresses the recessive one. The recessive allele is not able to express itself. Okay, that's why the person is able to roll his or her tongue. Now if both the gene are smaller and smaller, then the person will not be able to roll his or her tongue because both of them are recessive. Okay, so these are the two alternative forms. For each character the gene can be dominant both, or can be one dominant or recessive, or can be both recessive. Okay, so there are two alternative forms for each gene, so that alternative forms are called allele. Next is genotype and phenotype. Now what is genotype and phenotype? Now consider a character like tongue rolling. So tongue rolling, for people who can roll their tongue, their genes can be capital R, small r, or capital R and capital R. Okay, now in both the cases we can see that both of them can roll their tongue, but both of them have a different genetic makeup. The first one contains capital R and small r, while the second one contains both capital R. This is known as genotype. And phenotype means the physical appearance. If you will look at the physical perspective, both of them can roll their tongue because of the presence of the dominant allele, that is the capital R. Okay, so that is the physical or phenotype. Now the genes, if they are similar, then we call it as homozygous, like capital R and small r. If both of them are dominant, then we will call it homozygous dominant. In the same way, both of them are recessive, then we will call it homozygous recessive. Same, if the genes are dissimilar, then we will call it heterozygous. Okay, so this was our total concept of allele that we have studied. In the next part, we will study the Punnett square, which is the most important part of this chapter. So thank you for watching. We will meet in the next part.